Welcome back to the Pit Stop Ranch. It has been a minute since the last time we talked about my dream workshop. All the work we've done on it. The last few videos, you've seen it inside and outside in the background, or the actual structure went up in July, which means that was 6 months ago now. A few words on this setup. Like all of you, I'm a YouTube junkie. I don't know what it is, but probably the proliferation of screens everywhere, that my attention span sometimes is a little short. And one of the things that I find helps me is to have something playing in the background I'm not really paying attention to. Music is phenomenal, but also podcasts and etc. So I went ahead and sprung and got all the benders and bent all the conduit, ran all the conduit, pulled all the wiring. I did it myself without necessarily being an expert in electrical or electrical code. I did buy the codes, and then I looked over them and said, I'll figure this out. Anyways, actually, more importantly, I did have an electrician upgrade the main panel, and so that, because that's something that has to be done kind of while it's hot, and I wasn't feeling comfortable touching it, so I wanted someone who knew what they were doing, and that's going to get inspected and lots of scrutiny put on it. So that has to be done. We have power, we have lights, we have both 220 and 110 volt outlets frequently all over the place, because you can never have too many. I think that has to be done by someone who's knowledgeable, not someone who's got good intentions and wants to do right. But the rest of the stuff, the rest of the power in here, I did myself. When I had questions, I texted my electrician, and he was good enough to go ahead and answer those questions and give me pointers and suggestions. And then when I'd put all this in, and then him and his team were busy upgrading the main panel, I asked him to come down, look it over, and see if there's anything that needs to be done better. And he said, it looks really good, except you got too much cabling in these because the way they're daisy chained together, so because the connectors, it was a mess. So fortunately, I'm not the first person to make that mistake. So they sell these box extensions, put a box extension on. And I mean, it gaps it way the hell out, but you know, if he says that's what I'm going to need to pass inspection, we're going to do it. I guess the point I'm getting to is there's stuff that you want to pay professionals to do, and there's stuff that you should do yourself, and a lot of it has to do with your comfort level, expertise, and tool set. But don't be afraid to take a leap, and if you make the right connections and make the right friends, they'll help you out. Even before we've been approved to, we've started populating with stuff because we've got too much stuff, and it has to go somewhere. And to that end, what I've done is put a lot of stuff on pallets. Picked up a pile of pallets, and since we already had the forklift, only makes sense to get some pallet racking. So I'm going to put some pallet racking up, and so we can use all of this huge amount of volume to store all of our crap. As you know, stuff will fill 110% of the space available. So, we got final sign off from the city on our magnificent building. It has been almost exactly 1 year since we broke ground. A year ago, put up the breaking ground video. I'll link it down below. And that's what it took us to get here because we don't know what we're doing. Kind of learning as we go along. And then it took 2 years to get all the approvals and permits to even begin before that. So this is, and then it was 20 years of saving money before that. Anyways, this has been a long journey to get to this point, and we're not really even done yet. There's a lot of stuff still want to do, still setting everything up, organizing everything. Busy, been collecting stuff for this for a very long time. Got to the point where so overloaded the old shop, there was no room to maneuver. You've all seen how messy that place is. So there's a lot of shifting stuff between the two, trying to organize both shops into usable workspace again, and do what I can to keep this shop from getting as so jammed packed as that shop that I don't want to be there. And that's been a challenge. Is when I first set up the shop up there, I was out there and there all the time because it was really easy to go out and spend an hour, spend 15 minutes, and then just do something little bit, and I was able to progress like the C10 truck project, you know, along at a fairly steady pace. So now, still got a lot of stuff, busy organizing, placing, arranging, and then one of the big things I'm doing is trying to make everything modular and movable that can be. I mean, there's stuff like a mill and a lathe you can't do that with, but frame tables and welding tables and everything else, putting things on casters that can be, so that I can tuck them up against the wall or in a corner somewhere. And then when I need them, I can scoot them out, use them, and then scoot them back. And that way we can go ahead and try and keep as much of the main body of the volume open to do the stupid stuff that we would like you to join us in the adventure on. And one of the great things is we finally have a place outside of the weather to work on stuff. This was a ginormous 4x10 welding table I drug home a few months back, and it's way too big because it would sit in the middle and it wouldn't be able to park vehicles in here or anything else. So modifying it to fit my needs, cutting it, welding it, putting a casters on it, and be able to stuff it up underneath the pallet racking as workbenches. Last weekend was a rainy weekend, and I was able to drag it in here in the rain. And this weekend it is windy, and in our old available workspace, both would have been inhibited our ability to do anything, and probably would have just outright stopped us unless we were on a really tight deadline. Instead, in spite of the weather, we was able to sit in here and work away with the pitter patter of rain on the roof, and without it bothering me 1 ounce. So we've dramatically increased our storage space without giving up our workspace. One of the first things is we have our land speed racing truck that we started a couple years ago and haven't really made much progress since. So it's super high on our priority list. We need to work on that and get that up and running, and hopefully start bringing some videos on that out here real quick. And then I think we're going to be building some real old school hot rods. We got like 3 of them in the queue, 4 of them maybe in the queue. And then we're going to be taking a real recent acquisition of ours out to the drag strip, it's a legitimate drag car, and with no famous pedigree, but its pedigree as being actually a drag car built in the 60s, early 60s. So we're going to be having some fun with that, hopefully here really soon, and enjoying it. I know these videos on the shop haven't quite been as entertaining as some of the other stuff that we've been doing of late, but we're probably going to be shifting gears to more watch us build stuff as opposed to watch us go ogle what other people have built. We're still going to have plenty of that because we still like to go and look at, get ideas and look at what other people have done. But yeah, I'm super excited. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. And until next time, have a shoptastic day.